David here with Figboot on Pens, back again with another stay-at-home fountain pen review. While I enjoy taking a look at pens from larger manufacturers, I also like it when I get to learn about smaller one-artisan companies. There are craftsmen and women out there doing some incredible and unique work. It's a pen from a one-person shop that I have for you today. The name of the company is PenTeo, and the pen that I'm going to be showing you today is called the Bonita Magma Dragon. What I'm going to do today is go over the parts and features of the Bonita Magma Dragon, talk about what I care for and what I don't care for about the pen. I'll show some measurements, size comparisons, and provide a writing sample. Thanks go out to PenTeo for providing this pen for review. PenTeo is run by a gentleman by the name of Teo Oniata. He is Romanian and lives in the Czech Republic. He's been fascinated by fountain pens since his youth, and about 4 years ago he decided to try his hand at calligraphy. Not long after that, he saw a handmade pen from a local artisan, which led him to a discussion with the creator, which led Teo to purchasing the necessary tools to create his own pens. Making pens can have the same kind of rabbit hole that using pens can have. The pen arrives in this very nice wooden box. On the top of it, it's actually hand engraved with a nice script and this bird logo that PenTeo uses as their logo. You can see here in the picture the original artwork of Teo's he used as a guide. The box is held together with a magnet, and inside we have this high quality leather sleeve with the bird logo stamped on it as well. And then inside we have the pen. This is the PenTeo Bonita Magma Dragon. The first thing you notice about this pen is the unique material. It is made by a company by the name of Yuma, that's J-U-M-A, and is part of their exotic color series of thermoset plastic. Now, thermoset plastic is slightly different than acrylic. The main difference is that after it's been created and cooled, it is permanently solid. If you heat an acrylic, then it will eventually melt. If you heat a thermoset plastic, it will not melt, it will only burn. They are very solid and have good heat resistance. The material is very reminiscent of reptile scales. It has a great deal of variance to it. It has different shapes and patterns and varying levels of chatoyance. No two pens made from this material are going to look the same. It's one of the more unique materials I've seen for a pen. Let's start by taking a look at the cap. The finial is flat and made from a solid black resin. The cap angles up slightly until about this point, then it is straight for the last 2 inches or so. There is no cap band, and the slightly angled transition from cap to barrel doesn't have too steep of a step down. The barrel is a bit narrower than the cap and is straight for a bit until it tapers down to another black piece of resin which has a flat end with a slightly rounded edge. The cap twists off to reveal this very nice two-toned JoWo stainless steel number 6 nib. And then here's a look at the plastic feed. The section is concave. It's a bit on the thin side, about as thin as I personally prefer, but I do like the use of the Yuma material on the section as well, as opposed to a different material. This transitions into the plastic threads and a rounded step up to the barrel. While the section is a little bit thin at its thinnest, I do find it comfortable to use, and it's helpful that you can kind of creep your grip up towards the edge of the section. And I find it comfortable even for extended writing sessions. The pen is plenty long enough to use unposted, which is good because while the cap will post if you really force it on here, it's not necessarily designed to post. When removing the section, I do find myself needing to use one of these gripper pads. It is on here rather tight, and usually I can just do that in order to get it started. This is a Cartridge Converter pen. It will accept standard international cartridges, and a converter is provided. I believe that everything is solid enough in here that if you used a sufficient amount of silicone grease, you could eyedropper this pen as well. The PenTeo Bonita Magma Dragon is available from the PenTeo website for a custom order of $300. I'll put a link to the site in the notes below. For a handmade custom pen made to your specifications from a unique looking material, I think that's a fairly reasonable price. There are several different models which Teo creates and a wide variety of materials as well. If you are in the market for a custom pen, then I would encourage you to check out his site. This is certainly an attention-grabbing pen. I've had this one sitting behind me in my Dudek cubes for a few videos, and I've received several inquiries from curious viewers asking about this pen. And that was without ever seeing this thing up close. You know, I like unique things like this. This would be a pen that I would show off to people at a pen show, you know, if we were ever able to attend pen shows again. So for now, it's something that I will enjoy at home. And it's time for some measurements, size comparisons, and a writing sample. Here we go with some size comparisons for the PenTeo Bonita Magma Dragon. In regard to some other custom-made pens, here it is with a Carolina Pen Company Padre Sunset. Then here it is with a Pen 18111 Night Sky Sakura. And then finally, here it is with a Fisher of Pens Mint series, which was a mint series that was very interesting, where it was made with US coins as for finial inserts, as well as the cap band, something that was very interesting. In regard to some other comparisons, since this is very much a kind of reddish-orange pen, I thought I'd compare it with some other reddish-orange pens. Here it is with a Diplomat Arrow, and then here it is with the Montegrappa Montegrappa, and then finally, here it is with a Sailor King of Pen, which is the Royal Tangerine. In regard to uncapped comparisons, here it is with the Padre Sunset, then here it is with the Sailor King of Pen, and then finally here it is with the Diplomat Arrow. Here we go with the writing sample for the PenTeo Bonita Magma Dragon. This is a medium stainless steel nib, and the ink I'm using is one that I thought was appropriate to use for this, which is Diamine Red Dragon. This is what the ink looks like. It's a nice deep kind of blood red, very similar to something like Leonardo Red Passion, or even the limited edition Hitchcock themed ink Van Ness Good Evening, which has a little bit kind of more brown in it. This is what the bottle looks like. This is one of Diamine's nice 80 milliliter bottles, but it comes in a number of different sizes. I like that on the Diamine larger bottles, they actually, and even some of the smaller ones, they have a little label on top, which is nice, especially if you have a number of these bottles. In regard to the rest of the writing sample, I find this medium Jowo nib to be very smooth, that it's very nicely tuned. You're not going to get a lot of line variation out of it. And in regard to ink flow, for a medium nib, I think the ink flow is just fine. In regard to some reverse writing, it is a little scratchy, but it does lay down an extra fine line. And then in regard to some fast writing, there's no issue at all. So there we have the PenTeo Bonita Magma Dragon. If you're in the market for a custom-made pen, then this maker as well as this material and pen are something you might want to check out. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.